Hey everyone, this is Sabrina, and I'm excited slash really nervous about sharing some encouragement today. I know that this has been like a ridiculously crazy season. I know for myself, this has been really difficult figuring out all the emotions and the transitions of kids at home and work and school. And there's like a lot of uncertainty in this season. And I've had a few people reach out knowing that, they might need some extra hope in this season. So I was hoping to share just a little bit about one of my favorite Bible stories about Job. Job is this awesome guy, super righteous. He was a favored with God, and he had a whole wealth of oxen and animals, lots of children, and he was definitely not worthy of all the things that happened to him. And I was excited to share that I really connected with this story in my personal devotion time, just knowing that Job didn't deserve all the things that happened to him, but his hope was firmly planted in God. And so I'm hopeful that just sharing this would help you have a little hope firmly planted in God. Job 13:15 said that though he slay me, I will hope in him. And I was super impacted by that, knowing that shortly before this, Satan was just all about that tempting life and wanted to take all the things away from Job and prove to God that Job wouldn't stand firm in the midst of his circumstances. And it just reminded me that, like, no matter the circumstances, like what they look like to us, we can put our hope and our trust in God because, like, the virus is a scary thing. I have heard people now in my inner circle who are experiencing a little bit of sadness right now that their family members are impacted by this virus. And I know that that seems scary, and we tend to want to waver in our trust that God can help our families pull through these things. But I would encourage you that, like, our God is bigger than job loss, than sickness, than financial difficulties, than the craziness of our kids being at home. God is bigger than that. Job had all of these things, and Satan took them away one by one. And God allowed the circumstances to happen where Job would lose all of his wealth, his animals, even his children. And yet he knew that God would be faithful to protect him, and that all of these things would be happening for a reason. Even Job's friends came to him. He had 3 separate friends come to him and offer some sort of counsel or help him sort of navigate the situation. Much like you, I'm sure that you've had friends that have all had varying opinions on how we should be handling this situation. But I would just encourage you to stand firm like Job. It has been so good for me to remember that the circumstances I'm seeing around me are not half as bad as what Job experienced, and I should be more confident that God is faithful because he has been faithful to me thus far. So I can look at the circumstances that I'm in and know that God is faithful and that my hope can be firmly planted in him. And I hope that is encouraging to you. And I would just ask you to pray with me now that God continue to reveal himself to you in this season so that you may be hopeful in him today. Jesus, thank you for the opportunity to connect with the world via social media and Zoom and all of the ways that technology affords us to connect, God. I pray that you empower those of us that are watching this video to connect with their family, to really understand that our hope can be firmly in you, God, that there is no circumstance, there is no weapon that can come against us that will prosper. And I pray that we just have an overwhelming abundance of peace that would spread through the world, that we would come together virtually as a people to stand with each other and put our hope in you together as a people, so that just as Job stood firm with his hope lying in you, God, that we can do the same, and that on the other side of this virus will be an amazing amount of testimony, God, that just as you restored Job's wealth doubly, I pray that you just restore all the things that have been lost, that the people of the world are grieving for the loss of routine, for the loss of jobs. God, I pray that you move in it miraculously, that at the end that no one can say that it was anything but you. I pray all these things in your name. Amen. Great day.